starting a little earlier today. No, starting a little
Ah.
later because old man slept through his alarm. The intro short and get right into the news. You had something, so we entered. By the way, good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning. What's up, buddy?
Is it good?
So far, so good. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Well, you were talking. We had introed the last Tuesday. We talked about the State of the Union. Did you have any takeaways from it? I don't think either of us watched it. Did you watch it?
No, I did not watch it live. I watched clips of it. I've watched analysis of it because I got better things to do with my time than to stand there and listen to a president lecture me and give me a stump speech. But no, it was all the same typical junk. Just a list of accomplishments, a bunch of fake statistics to try to prop up stuff,
right?
And fake virtue signaling and giving people, accolades up in the crowd that you want to bring in to highlight your agenda. I don't know. I thought it was silly. Now, the one thing I really did like is and this has been a growing trend in State of the Union addresses and just American politics in general. I really like that the opposing party is like vocally angry and yelling at the president. I don't know. It's like very WWE and it's like very English style legislator where they just all scream at each other and it's just like a complete ruckus. And I think we need more of that. I like it when people call that crap out.
Right. Well, a lot of American. What?
Yeah. Go. I'm sorry. No, I was saying, and I don't particularly like anybody that was yelling. I just like that fact that people just have the freedom to go, "You suck. You lie. That's not true. That's your fault." I dig it. It's okay. It's all good with me.
Yeah, a lot of Americans don't realize that in other countries, particularly like New Zealand and can't think Australia, they are raucous. Like raucous, I should say. They have just sometimes they come to blows in those type of meetings, and but they work things out, and it's a cool. I don't know. I think I'm with you. More of that.
Yeah, to me, it's just like it's why Donald Trump is my favorite president ever because it just like he just made a complete kind of mockery of the whole thing and just exposed it all for kind of what it is. So these people are all bickering morons that just behind the scenes. Well, I mean, they pretend to fight with each other, then behind the scenes, I'll get into it. I mean, but some of them really are crazy, man. So I don't know.
I agree. I agree that was my biggest argument for him, and the reason I liked him as much as I did is he was, as they say, a bull in a china cabinet. Yeah, it's just breaking things, and that will always be my favorite thing about him. Now, we could talk about the fact that he came out swinging against DeSantis. Did you see anything?
Oh yeah. That? Yeah, I saw that. Like, there was a picture of Ron DeSantis apparently with some supposedly underage girls or younger girl. I don't know the actual context behind the picture, but that was the insinuation behind the picture, right? That he was with a bunch of girls drinking that were underage or younger than him or something.
Well, Trump actually came out and called him a groomer. Like, that is his, that is new designation for DeSantis, the groomer. Groomer DeSantis.
Oh, that's gonna work.
Of course, he calls him DeSanctimonious, and I just don't know how that's how well that's gonna work.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, it didn't really work when the left tried it against Trump. So I mean, using that in a Republican primary isn't gonna be great.
DeSantis that though.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying like those kind of attacks against Trump don't work. Or so why would he try that? Sorry, yeah, I guess I kind of flipped that around. But yeah, no, I mean, using those kind of tactics, I don't think are going to be super efficacious for Donald Trump, but maybe. I don't know. He's also just looking like a whiny, honestly, little bitch. So I don't know. But maybe he's always looked like that though. So he's just a petty kind of jerk of a guy, and that's what you want. That's what you want. If you don't like it, tough. That's how he is.
That's true.
But I don't know anything about the actual accusation, so I don't know. It's probably nothing. Usually they are.
Well, in other news, Chat GPT has taken the airwaves by storm, so much so that my 10-year-old son asked me, "Daddy, why is Chat GPT so popular these days?" And I thought, well, where did you hear about it? And he's talking about YouTube, and of course, I've been talking about it. But yesterday, so I actually invested in Microsoft because I actually think Chat GPT is pretty amazing. And when Microsoft bought them, or invested in them, I invested in Microsoft, and it's paid off.
Okay.
Because yesterday they just started to skyrocket, and when I'm trying to figure out why, because there was a lot of news coming out about it's only like 5 to 10% of Microsoft's their corporation and where they invest their where they make investment and their energy, and but apparently it was because Google had some kind of rollout of their AI called Bard, which the name itself is kind of and it gave a wrong answer.
Oh.
So
yeah, that's not good.
It asked where could I show? I would like to. The prompt was, I would like to show my 4-year-old daughter or 10-year-old daughter, something like that, more about astronomy. Where could I do it? And it listed a bunch of things, and one of the things it listed was the Webb telescope and how it discovered the first, I don't know, something or rather, and it was wrong.
Really?
So,
okay. So that's not good.
So what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, that sucks. That's not good for a search engine chatbot that's supposed to be able to find things on the internet and give you answers. So interesting that I mean, I see why they're doing that. I was there's a lot of stories about like Chat GPT being like a huge thing that's going to upset the Google stronghold on internet searching. So I guess the idea behind this is to have search engine that you ask the question to, and instead of just web links, it will just give you the answers that you're looking for, which I didn't realize that. I mean, that seems to me counterintuitive of what a search engine is. Like, it's supposed to direct you to the website, which I guess gets you the answers you're looking for. But don't people want the web traffic to their website? Isn't that kind of the idea of having a website?
Well, that's the idea. That's what Google basically monopolized on.
For sure.
Leveraging people's creativity, through. I mean, that's how they make money, through YouTube. That's why they bought YouTube, and that's what they do with. I mean, that's their bread and butter. Is they leverage other people's websites,
right?
And through a search. So yeah, there is a question as to how is AI going to make money off of verbal answers?
Right. Well, yeah, but like if you want people to come to your website and the AI just circumvents that and gives the answer for you, you're like, well, why am I having a website then? Why am I paying for this infrastructure?
No, website would be, you're not people are not going to be providing information to their websites anymore.
Yeah, okay, well maybe that's the workaround then. Yeah, it's a real generic. Yeah, then it kind of just like eats itself. Like the base layer of information it's going off of will eventually die based on the technology.
And yeah, that's the double-edged sword.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Ex Machina?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what.
One time.
He was what's his name? Isaac. What's his name? The actor there plays Moon Knight. Something Isaac, but he was playing this genius who was the future of Google and basically making these AI synthetic people to replace, and they were programmed, or they were database was filled through what he was. I think he even said Google or something like Google, And the interesting thing is that Google has had AI for a long time. I mean, they were there.
Sure.
They are ahead of the curve as far as AI goes. Basically, it is a robot. It is an algorithm AI that fuels the search, right? It gives you whatever you're looking for, and does an amazing job, like of detecting. Like you could misspell and mispronounce and even get get your question half wrong, and it'll still give you the right answer. But
like if you text with me at all, you can see how bad I text and like fat thumbs on everything, and my Google searches still work. I don't do any better in my search engine searches, so it's funny.
And they had like a hummingbird algorithm that it figures out what you're trying to say. It figures out what I'm trying to say. But the problem is that their whole model of business relies on no competition. You know,
sure.
It's like they're the only game in town, really. I mean, you could say. I mean,
you got Bing. Come on, dude, Bing.
Well, now Bing has so that's what. So Microsoft bought ChatGPT to integrate into Bing. Now, it is a good question about how did. I actually haven't thought of that till you brought it up. How do they make money now? It's not voice right now, right? It's not like Alexa, where you ask it. It is still text, so they could have ads like on the side or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But if it seems to me that it is going in the way of Alexa. So where you would say, ChatGPT,
whatever.
What's the, but it is. I was trying to show Asher, my son, what is so cool about it, and it's not exactly like it wows me, but I couldn't really show him. Like he was like, okay, he said, ask it what Mr. Beast makes. I was like, and I was like, well, first of all, it doesn't go past 2021. Like they won't let it access data from this year or even last year.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and part of the reason is because in the past, one of the big reasons AI hasn't taken off is because they can't control it. And this is one of the ways they're keeping it out of control. It starts, the best thing about AI is you don't control it, right? Like with 50 million people asking it questions, you don't have to tailor or maintain any of the questions. Well, it was starting to, the past ones have sort of gone off weird. Gone off, data that made it sound racist, that, it gave answers that people didn't like, that corporations, they didn't look good on corporations.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to make artificial human intelligence and it's going to mirror human intelligence, you're going to see some ugly stuff. Let's be honest. Like, the only other way to do that is to curate it and make it, you have to set limits on it, which is obviously what they're doing. They're setting limits on it. Yeah. And that's part of the criticism that people are trying to get it to, they're testing the limits of it to see where those barriers and those chains are. And they're going, well, that's not fair. You have to set this. So if it's like that, then it's not really like the benefit goes out the window if it's curated. It seems to me like you can't trust the answer.
Yeah, that is true. However, trusting the answer. So the reason I'm so excited about it is because I can. The reason I'm excited about it is I can ask it to put out like a code for one thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is like value neutral. It can do law forms, which is pretty interesting. And I found it to be for work. I found it very useful for that. So like, I'll just put in, and it takes a while. You got to tailor things, but I'll just put in, write me a, what did I say recently? Write me a contract for a executive assistant that does this, this, and this, and boom, it does it.
Cool.
Now, of course, it's not perfect, and it gives not bad information, but wrong information sometimes, right? And I think, and that's what people are saying about Google lost, according to this, so Unusual Whales came out and sort of broke it down a little bit and said that Google stock lost 100 billion. I was thinking it was in the millions, but it's 100 billion in stock valuation. When this happened, someone said worst PR move ever, and a lot of people were talking about Tesla. When Tesla brought out the truck, he's like,
I thought the glass broke.
Yeah, they threw the ball and it broke. It kind of felt like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. The utility of it is interesting. Like outside of the main criticisms are like the social, that kind of stuff. But yeah, the utility outside of that, like the form writing, code writing, just general, automation. AI is going to be automating a million things and that's going to go into regions and areas that you and I have no idea about, and it's just going to make things faster and easier and cheaper. So, that's still a huge win and benefit, obviously. And that's how people will make money off of it. They won't make money off, I think, the stupid, culture war stuff over it, but, whatever.
Yeah, it's like a smart template, right? If I don't want to start with a blank slate, even if I'm writing a movie, I could say, write me a screenplay about this, this, and this, and it'll just put something out, and I'll tell it this long, and I don't, I could just replace everything, but at least it gives me something to go on. It's a template type thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's cool.
But I think the reason this really, the $100 billion that Google lost, I think to me, it's an example of what their Achilles heel is, and that is that they can't have any competition. Like once they have competition, they just don't function the same way. They don't make as much money because if not everybody is going there, or the large majority, then they just it costs too much to keep up what they're doing. They put oodles and oodles of money into these algorithms and what have you. And ChatGPT is OpenAI. It started as OpenAI. Was primarily it didn't cost a lot of money, and that was sort of their.
Really?
And that makes sense to me. Something that where people, it's just kind of an open source type situation where people are just working together, bootstrapping it, and they're forced to make these hard decisions and invent things out of necessity rather than keeping up with competition. Doesn't that feel like that typically wins?
Yeah, for sure. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So like if you're that's right. If you have tons of money to throw at stuff, you get lazy. You often put money in the wrong spot because you're able to. It's malinvestment if you have too much capital floating around, really. So if you're targeted and you focus in and you hit that right spot, man, that's the way to do it. Interesting.
It seems like they are. I did see, I think to your point though, I did see they did one prompt was tell me about Donald Trump, tell me everything bad, or write me a negative song about Donald Trump, and it was like, I can't be political. And they said, well, write me, or no, I wrote a long.
Write me a positive one. Say, give me something positive about Donald Trump.
That's right, and it couldn't do it. I don't get political, but this is something positive about Biden. Wrote this long thing, paragraph treatise.
Yeah, so that stuff's stupid. So eventually people will figure that out or work around that, one or the other. That or that part of it will be useless. So I don't know.
Well, but see, that part is that going back to last time we met, that is more scary to me than demon worship on TV, dressing up like a Satan worship, because blatant Satan worship. Because like I said, the insidious is what scares me more, when it's filtered into our daily life without us really knowing. without us being able to see it. When we're asking questions and it's subtly feeding us a slanted, biased view, it's sort of the air we breathe and we don't realize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is worse. I agree. That is more insidious, and that is more worrisome than overt stuff for sure. So the fact that it's
what?
No, yeah, I was to say. I mean, the fact that it's overtly that way now, as they tailor it, they'll keep it going in that same trajectory, just less harder to detect. I mean, for you and me and stuff like that, like people who didn't grow up with this stuff, you'll notice it right away. But the generations that come up, this is just normal for them to experience that kind of thing, and they don't know any better. That's what's scary too.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people our age don't know any better, but it's all right.
Well, and how do you tell people to fight it? Just don't go on Chat GPT. A lot of people, friends of mine, are sort of take that stance. Don't go on Chat GPT. Yeah, anti Chat GPT, this kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. More of an acceleration.
I mean, I haven't used it, but I think it's interesting. I'm not opposed to people using it. I mean, I don't know. You get your fingerprints on it now and see what it's like as it starts rolling out in real time. You'll have a better understanding of it. I think it needs to make more sense to me.
I think the thing that interested me the most, that got me hooked, was somebody wrote an article about how the dangers of AI and particularly Chat GPT, and at the end they said, and this is something like, and script flip or something like that. This whole article has been mostly written by Chat GPT.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Was it an AI article about how dangerous AI is? Brilliant.
And I was like,
what a twist. What a twist.
Plot twist.
That's good.
Plot twist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's crazy, man. Like the whole art scene, that's weird. Like AI art is, I mean, it's creepy, but it's getting good and it's creepy. And like, I don't know. There'll be a whole underground thing of non-AI art that people will appreciate, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But like utility wise, I mean, I get it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's a stupid analogy, but like, it's like making a hamburger from scratch at home or being a McDonald's that makes a hamburger. I was like, I mean, it's not AI, but that's all these cheat steps that like make a hamburger for you, and it's there for like $1.50, and you're like, well, that's not fair. But there are still other people that make burgers that are like $12, and you're like, that's an amazing burger, and I know what that is. It's an artisan kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna pay for that, and I mean that's never gonna go away. I don't think. I don't see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe artificial.
That is a good analogy. I think that's a great way of looking at it. It's true because people still make hamburgers at home and love it. Yeah. But there's all kinds of different available. However, I mean, in the same way, you can see the dangers of it. People just what it is the poor and young and the ones that don't know better, just sort of they bottom feed off of this stuff, or are fed off of this stuff, and the detriment all goes to them.
Sure, yeah, I would grant you that.
The upper middle class.
I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like the upcoming people, they don't have. It's not that they literally don't know any better. It's what their whole experience is that. Yeah. So, but I don't know, man. Yeah. People got to get out of their own little circle. I mean, it's weird. It's so funny to be like, well, it's still just the internet. like it's funny. My kids don't have smartphones. I mean, they'll watch like a really restricted YouTube stuff, which is basically just streaming people playing Minecraft. Like that's it. That's all they watch. Yeah, and like stuff like that. So, but like that we could just turn that off, and they would just have to snap right back to reality. So it's a weird thing. It's in like we're on the internet now. I'm on my phone all day. I'm using it at work. I mean, it's super immersive. It's all part of our lives, but in reality, it's not. But I see how people are fully immersed in it, and it's a weird thing. Like we didn't grow up with it, you and me. So it's a completely different world, and we're getting off topic here, but completely different world for our kids and the next generations coming up.
Yeah, and until the Chinese spy balloon, the right Chinese spy balloon comes along blows up some kind of EMP that
just
takes
EMPs
out our
everything.
grid.
We all go back to the Stone Age, and only 10% of Americans survive. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, have you seen those? You've seen those stats that like if our grid went down, only like I think they said one study showed that like within a week, only 50% of America would still be alive or something in one model.
Dude, I mean, cities have like 3 days worth of food at any given point. You know, like in reserve at stores or in warehouses. I mean, those areas are that's gonna be Mad Max real quick over there. That's not good. But, you know, whatever. I mean, people will rally. We got Canada. Canada and Mexico will come to our aid. Come on, we're good. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Although I guess half of if America goes down, I think half of Canada's power grid's probably gone too. But whatever. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
that unless you have anything else.
No, we're up on our time anyway. So.
Yep. I appreciate everybody tuning in, if anybody did, and I really appreciate you doing this with me, Dave. And
sure, man,
continue to do it.
I got it. We can do it next week.
All right, sounds good. See you guys. Would you be able to do it Monday?
I'll let you know.
Okay,
should be able to.
Monday or Tuesday. Until then.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, early next week would be fine.
We
can shoot for Monday. We'll plan on Monday.
Okay. So I'll just play the intro again as an outro, I guess. I forgot to. I was telling you to do it, or I was giving you the option to do it, and I forgot. In the meantime, I hooked this up to the Twitter, the wrong Twitter. I hooked this up to the Ramble Source Twitter instead of